Sam. What an absolute asshole. So, right before, first of all, I fucking see that guy over there. Look at him. Look at this little. Look, he's dressed like a Make-A-Wish kid again over there in the corner. Just like, I can't stand you. So first of all, hi, Andrew Edwards. Welcome to Genius Bar. Yay! Is this second or third for you?
Second, I think.
Third. No, it's my third.
Well, third with the real podcast, with the real life.
Okay, so this is your third appearance. I just held up 2 fingers for the people that didn't see it. I just outed myself. This is your third appearance. Yes. You have apparently been invited on this week because, and I don't recall, but Sam informed me that I guess last week I called you out publicly.
You did.
I don't remember this.
I got the clip.
Oh, you have a clip?
Oh, you got the clip.
Let's see the clip. Cool, Sam. That experience was incredible. But we aren't here for them. We aren't here to speak to them. We're here to speak for regular people, not Andrew Edwards. And Andrew Edwards is just wrong. Hey, buddy, I know you're watching. You should come on the show next week so I can make fun of you because I know it's an incredible demo, but I bet your sweet ass you won't be sitting there every day wearing it.
Oh, those are fighting words.
From
those
are
fighting words. How do you not remember that? That was a long soliloquy.
Well, to be fair, I said, I bet your sweet ass.
Yeah.
So there was a compliment thrown in.
True.
It was a comment out of love, and I think that's why I was confused when Sam said I called you out because in my memory it didn't sound like that. In my memory it said, this is how I said it. I said, Andrew Edwards, you beautiful man. You should come on and talk about with civil nature, the headset. You really pretty man. That's what I said. Like, if you read between the lines, that's what I said, effectively.
Dude, you're backing up. You're scooting backwards like Putin. Let's go ahead and do a confrontation
segment, guys. Did you say scooting backwards like Putin?
Here we go. This is the confrontation segment of the Genius Bar. Okay.
Oh, my God. I don't want to fucking talk about this headset anymore. I really put myself in a corner.
Though, which I appreciate.
I think, everyone watching and listening to Genius Bar right now, what's it feel like to not be the number one fan? Because Andrew is for sure the actual number one fan of Genius Bar. Texts us every week in the group chat. You took notes.
I take notes. No, I mean, not last, and just in general. I listen, I take notes. I text you guys, hey, I don't agree with this.
And it's usually Sam.
That. Why is Sam always wrong? That's all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, specifically that.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew Edwards, I'm just gonna give it to you straight, sir.
Okay, please do.
I'm feeling pretty straight today.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. Pretty straight every day, but especially straight today.
Especially today. Now that Pride Month's over, you're back to 100%. Jesus Christ.
All right, here we go.
It's a rough dream for John.
Andrew, you were on stage with us at Genius Bar Goes Dark. Everyone, Andrew showed up for us. Unlike Sarah Dici, Andrew showed up. Unlike Snazzy, Quinn, how dare you get food poisoning the night before an event?
May I say something publicly real quick just before you go in?
Please.
I mean, yeah, it's your show too.
Me and Quinn had a disagreement on Twitter about ad block and creators, and I would love to talk about that in a more meaningful context.
I would love to hear about what that was.
And I invited Quinn on the show, and I think
you got to call him out publicly, though.
I tweeted him, and he did not reply to either.
Oh,
so
wait, was the argument that bad?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk about. We should talk about this later in the show, maybe, because I have very distinct views, and he definitely has very distinct views. But anyway,
as do I would.
Yeah. So anyway, please continue. But I want Quinn on the show. If you guys want Quinn, tweet Quinn or threads Quinn. What do you call it? A twid? A twed?
You gotta thread him. You gotta thread him.
Just thread him.
Oh, that sounds sexual. I don't want to thread. I just want to thread myself. Okay.
So Andrew, you came on stage with us at Genius Bar Goes Dark like a day after trying the headset.
Yes.
Tech demo was incredible. You were very impressed. Okay, now you've had time to simmer. It's been chilling inside of your soul. You've had time to think. Tech demo aside and how amazing the tech demo was, is this something that you can integrate into your life every day and live in it like Apple wants you to?
Every day. That's a good question. Here's what I've been thinking.
Tell us what you're thinking.
I feel
buddy.
like, now I don't recall how the Apple Watch went down. I remember the introduction of the Apple Watch, the first introduction, but I also recall there was a second event because there was, I think it was like 6 months or so between here's what the Apple Watch is and then we're launching the Apple Watch, right? I think it was roughly that long. So there was a second event that told you more about the Apple Watch, kind of like retold you the original story, but revealed more than what they originally did. Mm-hmm. There has to be something like that coming with this as well. They're not just going to launch this in, let's just say, randomly February or March without a second event with developers there and showing way more than they originally did.
Yeah, you would hope so.
With that out of the way, the point there is there's obviously more that this thing can do than we currently know that it can do. Using it on a daily basis, I don't know. Here's how I come at this. Because when Jon was talking last weekend and several other times when Jon was talking about this product, he would say, you know, I understand the tech nerds loved it, right? I understand the tech nerds who were able to get a first look at this were super impressed. I would be impressed too if I was one of them.
Tech nerds with a sweet ass.
Well, yes, but we have to talk to the average person here, right? Then you went on to say how you've been doing this for, you know, I think you said 10 years or so. And
okay, is this where you're going to throw in that you've been doing this for 60?
Listen, no, this is where I'm going with that.
Okay.
Because you said it's not just for the nerds. That's just the nerds talking. But I come at these things, no matter what it is, from the perspective of not just a tech nerd, but someone who, like, since I was 5 years old, I have loved consumer electronics products, right? Like, I've loved them. The reason I do this, and I tell people, like, because when I started, like, I was seen as, like, a journalist. But I always felt like it's not, there's more there because there's a passion that can't be subdued into just, you know, I'm reporting on the nightly news in an unbiased fashion. That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this stuff. If it's new, I want to see what it is. I want to check it out. It's very exciting. Mm-hmm. And on stage, I did say this is the most profound experience I've had with a consumer electronic product ever.
Yes.
Which I still believe now. Does that mean that I think it's a product for everyone? Absolutely not. But that's really mostly due to the price. If this was if this cost the same amount somehow as the Quest 3, this is a product for so many people then. But it's the barrier is going to be the price point. If I get one, which I will, the price doesn't matter here because anyone who would buy it at $3,500 is the same person who would buy it if it was $5,000, right?
Yeah.
So I will certainly find ways to use it. I don't know if it's on a daily basis. It's certainly not going to be all day. I don't know that it's something I would put on.
Well, it can't be all day. It has to be 2 hours.
Well, no, because if you plug it into a 30-watt charge, so if you have I don't know if you guys know this or not, so I'm just going to talk. Just maybe people out there don't know. So maybe I'll have to talk to you. You put it on, you have the battery that it like clips and hooks in. So it's not, you can't pull it out like a MagSafe. So it stays hooked in. And then on the battery, there's a USB-C port. And you can plug into that port. And if you're using a 30-watt or better charger, it will work all day. According to Apple, they said if you plug it into at least 30 watts, it like, you know how like some things you could plug in like 30 watts, like, I don't know, a Steam Deck, and it'll just make it discharge slower. Right.
Yeah.
So with the Vision Pro, if you plug in 30 watts or better, it'll just work like it's a laptop plugged in. Mm-hmm. So that's easy. Like you just put it on, you plug it into, you know, USB, and you're good. You can, if you want to sit at your desk and use it all day, you certainly can if you're comfortable inside of it. It's just such a new. This is really what it is. It's such a new idea and such a new thing that it's hard for me to imagine doing that. Comfort aside, I'm saying if it's completely comfortable, I can't envision yet a daily, like my work day, wearing this, having giant screens all across the room, and not being kind of like, what the hell's going, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people will look at, so I use the Pro Display XDR. If you came over and looked at the mess of windows I have all over my screen, you'd probably be like, how do you work like that? But to me, that's how I work. It's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. Same.
I feel like that reaction from someone who doesn't work that way would be how I would see working in the Vision Pro. Like I've got something across the room over there, and I've got this in front of me, and
like, bro, what are you doing?
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Right? But as you alluded to earlier, I'm old, right? I'm 42 years old. Okay,
that's not old,
right? But what I'm saying is, remember when TikTok first launched? I remember when TikTok first came out.
Wow.
I was one of the early adopters who embraced it and saw like the potential for what it could be.
It's been great.
Everyone
always.
else was like, "This is just the little kids dancing app, bro. What are you doing in here?" But the little kids, like when you see, I don't know if they're little kids, but like the teenagers on TikTok, like how they edit inside of TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell, like I video edit for like a decade and a half here. How the hell are you doing all this in an app?
Yeah. I was telling Sam last week or the week before that like when I started, I was ripping videos off of DVDs. Like I would record on the DVDs and then rip them. Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a thing like, the younger you are, there's going to be a sweet spot where you put the Vision Pro on and you don't have 20 years of this is how computing is that you have to kind of break and relearn. You just put it on and you kind of get it. And I think there's going to be people like that. Like you're 22 years old, you get Vision Pro. I mean, if you have the money to get it, you get Vision Pro and you put it on and you don't have the, I don't know what you call it, baggage or whatever. This is how things are done. Similar probably to how when the iPhone first came out, if you were 50 years old and used to using a flip phone and T9ing, you might have been like, this is
T9
too
was the
different. I have
shit,
to get
though.
used to it. Oh, T9, I was so fast with T9.
I know. Probably faster than I am now.
You guys, what the hell is T9?
Really? Sam, no.
What is T9?
Sam, have you never sent a text message using just a number pad?
Oh yeah, I had a flip phone. That was my first.
Yeah,
phone.
so that's called T9.
Oh, like, I didn't know it was called T9.
To get the C.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I never thought about what it meant, but I guess it meant text with 9 buttons. I'm assuming, although there's
Is that what it meant?
I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here. So, anyways, that was a long answer to. Do I think I'm going to use it every day? Do I think I'm going to use it all day? I think the answer to both of those is probably no in the long term. Or in the medium term, I guess. In the beginning, I'm probably going to use it every day. Am I going to use it all day? No. I'm going to try to use it all day, probably for like a video. Like, let's see. I tried using Vision Pro, right?
Yeah.
But for me, and I guess for a lot of people that do what we do, I can't let anything slow me down, right? So I can't afford to let trying to integrate Vision Pro into my daily life cause me to work slower, and that's
sort of what it feels like. It feels like added step. Like I sit down with displays in front of me all day. Mm-hmm. Now I just put a thing on that weighs on my face and that I have to wear to put screens in front of me. And I don't know. I just wish it would have done a little bit more. I mean, obviously, again, I hear everybody. I hear you. It's not released yet. There's still, but I just don't see a drastic change happening from now to then. I think, we'll get some extra stuff, some cool stuff, but it is, at this point, it is what it is. And that's the part that worries me.
Let me
say
in.
Let me say one thing real quick, if I can.
Okay.
Just one quick response to that. When the original iPhone launched, it was what it was until the App Store came a year later. 3 days before the 3G launched. When the App Store came, the iPhone became so much more than what it was, specifically because of what developers saw that it could be that Apple did not see. And I think the next event for this product is going to show us that. Apple showed us what they see, but we haven't seen the developers who think outside the box or think differently than Apple does.
And I'm sorry, Sam, do you want to jump in before I respond to that? The iPhone was like its own thing. Was a new thing. It reintroduced multiple technologies as one concept. And this isn't that. This isn't the first VR headset. This is just another one, just a really high quality one. AR, mixed reality, whatever. And the fact that you can see what people use it for and what these headsets have done well and still miss that mark is it's like, I just have questions. That feels really weird to me that Apple, because I don't want to believe that they're that blind about the market or that stubborn, but that's how it feels right now, and I don't want it to feel that way.
Right. Before Sam talks, I'd like to. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding, Sam. Go ahead.
Sam, jump in.
You guys can go. I mean, this is your podcast. I've been replaced. It's all good.
You're not replaced. You're never replaced.
Oh, thanks, bro. Basically, I'm definitely what Sarah said. Like, I feel like I'm very in the middle right now, where I feel like I'm not as bullish as I was like day after it or day of it coming out, but I'm also very much not like John. That's like, this was a mistake. They did it too early. Why did they present it like this? So let me say this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have done this. I went back the other day, rewatched the entire Vision Pro unveil.
Okay.
Start to finish. Mm-hmm. And while there were definitely some misses, I do overall think it was a good presentation. So at first I said it was a bad unveil. That was my take. I think I said that on stage. But it was more mid. I feel like there were a couple spots they missed. Like, I feel like, for example, the biggest miss to me was the ad that they made for it, where it shows the dad with the Dreamer song, kind of like living with his kids, making them breakfast with the headset on.
Yeah.
No one's going to use it while making breakfast for their kids. That's just not, that's not happening.
Borderline laughable.
Yes. And I think they should have marketed it. Yeah. They marketed it to mass market for this generation. Like, they basically showed it like iPhone at a birthday party taking pictures of your kids. We're like, dude, no parents are going to have the time or patience to wear this thing with a battery pack on their head while making their kids breakfast playing soccer with them in the kitchen. Like, that's just not happening. That's not a real scenario. Come on, guys. Like,
did you say playing soccer with them in the kitchen?
Yeah,
he passes a soccer ball. He passes a soccer ball to them while he's making them toast.
And you can see the soccer ball come because you could see through it. So
yeah, I mean, hey, great father for sure. Like, definitely father of the year. Let's give him a round of applause. But to suggest that you're going to do that while wearing a headset, I think that was a miss. I think they did a good job talking about the technologies. I even think the scenarios they laid out, and like, basically I feel like the first third was really strong. It started to fall off around the Disney part, where they started to go deeper into the experiences, like showing you using multiple windows for work and how FaceTime's like halfway there, but not all the way there. And I feel like it came back really strong at the end. Like the initial, just like the line, it's the first Apple product you look through and not at. It was a very good way to describe what it was. And instantly I was like, oh shit, I'm looking at the future. And then when the middle part of the presentation came, I was like, there's a couple things here that are cool, but I don't know. And then I feel like it finished really strong, where I'm like, whoa, this is an incredible piece of technology. Like, and I don't know if you guys have seen the reports that are coming out, but the numbers are looking as low as like 130,000 produced in an entire calendar year because of how hard this is to make.
Yep.
That sounds unbelievable.
Two independent Apple suppliers have said that, according to them, through the rumor supply chain, Apple only ordered 100,000 of the specific parts they would need, which
and the wording is
equal only 100,000, but it kind of sounds like you need the parts.
There are reports that are coming out like now, recently.
Yeah, this is
post announcement that are saying they've cut a lot of production stuff because of the complex design, which is a really cute way of saying they over-engineered the shit out of this. Like, another point to Jern about they did this too fast and too early. We wouldn't have these problems if it wasn't too fast and too early.
I don't know that it's over-engineered.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
It's engineered. It's difficult to engineer today to be what they want it to be, but they succeeded in making it what they want it to be. So it's not over-engineered to be a, what did we call it again? Augmented reality headset with
that's what
basically zero latency, right? So they've achieved it. So it's not over-engineered. They've achieved it, but it's expensive to engineer it.
Yeah, and the ones that they did engineer don't work all the way. Like the ones that you guys demoed, they didn't have the front screens working, right?
Oh, well, I don't know if the front screens worked or not, or if it's just they didn't want to show it yet in person. Like, I don't know when I was wearing it, if it was working, but obviously it's no way for me to know because I'm wearing it. And I never saw anyone else wear it. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that feature is not ready yet, or if it's just, they just didn't want to show it yet.
Can I ask you another question, Andrew?
Of course you can.
So this, again, you've had some time to think about it.
Yeah.
We had Sarah on last week. You saw the episode. Mm-hmm. And Sarah said it was pretty heavy.
I was going to ask.
And Sarah had mentioned that, maybe you didn't think it was so heavy because you got a thick neck.
I do. I do got the good neck. I'm a former pro wrestler. I got the neck.
I know. Bro. So
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
You didn't know that?
Pro wrestler.
He's not a real friend, dude. He's not a real friend. He's not
No, stop. I don't get the joke. What's the joke?
It's not a joke. Andrew, in a past life, was an actual, honest to God, real life pro wrestler.
No, you guys are making
hang on,
up.
Sam.
Stop.
Hang on. Let me describe this. Think The Rock.
Right.
But with long, curly black hair. That's Andrew Edwards.
That's also correct.
I'm not making this up. This is real life.
Mm-hmm.
You're making this up.
I'm not. Is there anything online to prove this for us, Andrew?
Not that I can reference real quick, but yes, I can probably find something like afterwards and show.
Yeah, send it to me and we'll put it in the edit right now.
All right.
Remember, future me to do it because I know I've seen pictures. So
okay,
we're not. It's not a joke. It's real, Sam. Promise.
Okay, I'll take your word for it now. My follow-up is this, Andrew. When did it become uncomfortable to wear the headset?
Oh, you weren't going to follow up on the pro wrestler thing? We're just letting that go?
I'm going to let that one slide.
All right, so I wore the headset. I was saying it was an hour, but I really feel like it was an hour total, my demo, and I probably didn't have it on. It was probably like 45 minutes. I did not feel uncomfortable ever, but I think that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, the head strap that's rumored to possibly not come in the box. That would be
crazy.
They had that on there for the demo, so I had the head strap. Secondly, I feel like I had a really good fit on the light blocker, and they did not have all the sizes that they're gonna have when it goes on sale. So like I know Dan Barbera did not have a great fit, nor did Brian Tong. So theirs was less comfortable just because with something like this, or even the Quest now, it's like you need to be looking at the proper angle.
Yes.
Right. And if it's tilted down a little bit, then it's going to start getting fuzzy and all that. For me, it was really good. It was a really good fit. So that also helped with the comfort. However, when I took it off, when they said we were done, I took it off. I had the feeling that like my face felt not like super sweaty, but like moist.
Fatigued.
Yeah, it's like I didn't feel tired. It was like, if like you're sweaty and then like cold air hits you. It was kind of like that. Like I took it off, like, I didn't. But
what was the weight difference? Like when you took it off, did it feel like like you got something big off your face?
It wasn't like that, but it's definitely. It's not what Sam said like a week prior on this very
100
show.
grams.
Like this is going to be as light as 3 sheets of paper, guys. This is crazy.
Hey, that wasn't an exclusive report. That was from our boy Guo Min Shi, a very reputable Apple analyst, who I believe was maybe referring to just the metal front part and nothing else.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm thinking that's where it got translated improperly.
Okay, because it's metal and glass. It's
yes,
it's substantial, but it's hard to say. Like, because the other thing could very well be that I was so immersed in what I was doing that I just didn't recognize. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like overwhelmed. I was feeling your senses.
Yeah, like I had no problems with it. I did not feel like, oh, this is going a little too long. I can't wait to take this off. I didn't feel that at all. But when I took it off is when I was like, oh, like my face is kind of sweaty, which felt like a tiny bit disappointing because that's 40 minutes. So how would it feel if it was, an hour and a half or whatever, 2 hours or longer? So, they need to, I don't know if the hardware is 100% finished or not, but they do need, I think, some way of like getting the air out of there or whatever. I don't know, but to get some fans in there or something. It all
get some fans, guys.
Wait a minute, it's running Apple Silicon, so no fan.
That'll probably come third party. Like I have a similar. I have a visor. I have a visor for my Quest that has some like vents in it, so I'm sure third party.
Oh, that's
whatever.
True. Yeah, just something like that. But I never felt during my demo, at least, I never felt uncomfortable, or that it was heavy on my face or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine there's going to be a third party that releases like a strap where you can like slide the battery into it on the back, which actually will give you a little counterweight as well, make it even more comfortable. So
yeah, because that's what I do with my Quest. I have batteries that are like magnets that they stick on the back, and that balances the weight much better for the Quest, because the Quest is just like, it's all in the front, and then they give you like 2 Velcro straps to hold it on your head. And you're like, that's not enough. So I have,
I can't really use my Quest 2 anymore. Like, it actually hurts me.
He's such a goofy little fuck.
No, I'm
not. None of this was said until the Apple
serious.
One was announced, and now it's not good.
You know why? Because I didn't touch it for months, and then I was like, oh, let me try VR again. I was like, wait, VR sucks. Here's my final take on this, and I think I'm gonna stick with this until it comes out.
Let me hear it.
I think this is going to be a first generation product. And I think that expecting it to be anything other than that, John, is a bit unrealistic.
You could say you could say that about anything. Like, where do we draw the line? Where is it not acceptable?
I think there's another line here. But please continue.
Finish? The Apple Watch, people like to reference the first Apple Watch. People saying the VR headset's not going to be like that. It's not going to take off like that. You're right. It's a very fundamentally different product. But the Apple Watch, the first one, was a first-gen product. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it was pretty slow. And it took a long time for things to load once you actually open the app. And the fitness tracking was pretty basic. There wasn't as much stuff built in it. And the battery life was not very good.
Terrible.
At the same time, it was still a product that I fell in love with, and I've been wearing an Apple Watch on my wrist every day since then. Like, even though it wasn't perfect Gen 1, the value was still there, and it was still magical to the point where I still used it in some way every single day. And I believe that that's what the Vision Pro is going to be. Like, and I think us expecting it to be like iPhone 14 level, perfect, 14 gen perfected is unrealistic.
You're just misconstruing my thoughts. I'm not hoping that that's what it is at all. I know it's not. With to piggyback off of your Apple Watch statement, yeah, it was a little slow, but like you could see, if this was just faster, like you could see the potential of things. And that's the exact area where I feel like Apple missed. Like, it's not just slow's not even the problem. It's their vision. I hate that this is how it's coming out of my mouth, but it's their vision that I feel like they missed. I feel like the things they think we're going to use it for, the things that they think we should use it for, are just misguided.
I think there's something here. Sam was just talking about what's a first gen product, and on Geared Up the other day we were talking about this, and I think it's even, I don't know if the less than that, or it's not even a first gen product. This is for the first time in a long time, if not the first time I can remember, this is not a mass market product that Apple is releasing. This is not.
I think we agree.
This is a product that Apple is putting out there to get us to where they want this product to be in a way that even the first gen Apple Watch, right? Like, we are hardcore, like, tech nerds. We're using it. We're like downloading apps to it, right? The reason our batteries didn't last as long is because we're actually pushing it harder than the average person who just gets some notifications every now and then, right? This is going to be, despite the fact that the hardware is fantastic. So I'm not saying from a hardware perspective, this is not going to be slow, right?
Yeah, no.
Battery life, I guess, it's on par with, I don't think it's terrible. But at the price that it's launching at, and for the things that Apple has shown us so far, this is really a product that's more about the possibilities of where it can go than what it is on day one. I say that with a caveat of what are the developers going to do for it? Because there's still, I think there is going to be some things that surprise us that we don't know yet. Kind of like when Apple shocked us with the M1 chip, right? And then later was like, hey, by the way, we have this thing called Ultra Fusion that we never told you about, where we can just fuse these things together. And now we have the M1 Ultra that's 8 times faster than the M1 that we just blew your minds with 6 months ago, right? I feel like there's going to be stuff like that where it's like, we didn't tell you the whole story.
I hope so.
And now we're going to tell you the whole story. But even when they do tell us the whole story, $3,500 is a lot of money. And I was actually spending time like, what is something that costs $3,000 to $4,000 that an average person buys, like, and really buys for leisure, not for necessity. And I was having a hard time, like, aside from like a vacation or something, like,
like even,
and that's an expensive vacation.
Like, I don't see people even spending $3,000 on a computer. Like,
it's like 10% of the average American salary, bro.
Right. Like, that is a hard.
And also,
sell.
This isn't $3,000. It's not even $3,500 to get all in with this. Like, it's $3,500 if you got 20/20 vision and don't got a funny head.
I do.
You do?
Okay.
Well, you do.
You don't gotta have flex like that.
I'm 20/20. I'm 20/20 out here. Okay.
Okay.
Listen,
that's cool.
listen.
Well, for the rest of us, we got to buy lenses and the goofy fucking head strap.
There's one thing that
Dude,
Redinger mentioned on Geared Up the other day, which I didn't think of prior, and which may come into play here when it comes to price, which is Apple's buy now, pay later. Not the pay over 4, but if you have an Apple card, like, you know, I do this all the time with Apple stuff. Like, if it's a computer, I'll just do the thing where it's like, oh, I'll pay over 12 months, no interest. So just pay, it just breaks the total up into 12 and you just pay it every month, no interest. That could make it much more palatable to purchase for a lot more people than just dropping, you know, with tax, $4,100 to $4,500. But still, it makes it opens it up a little more, but it's still not a mass. It cannot be a mass market product at that price. It just cannot be.
Agreed.
I gotta hop in here. I'm hearing, and I'm saying it like it is.
Say it like it is.
People like to call me the Apple sheep. I'm hearing a lot of cope on this podcast.
Okay.
I'm hearing us making justifications for the price. I'm hearing.
Not me.
I'm hearing. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm hearing John kind of winning this debate. That's what I'm hearing is the referee.
That's what I'm saying. Like, over time, you will see that what I'm saying isn't that drastic.
What is the debate? I guess that's my question, though, because I don't know. Is the product going to be great? I think it is. Is it too expensive for most people? I think that's also true. Is there stuff that Apple hasn't shown us yet that's going to make us more excited about it? I really do believe there is. So I don't know what the what are the sides, I guess. What are the sides?
I don't know. I mean, you know where I stand. I haven't changed or budged from where I stand since.
I think the sides are glass. This is exactly what the sides are. Andrew's glass half full. John is glass half empty. That's literally what it is.
That's a fair way to put it. Yeah.
Andrew is optimistic about this product, and John is pessimistic about the Vision Pro.
It's not even just that. Like, so I agree with Andrew. Like, at no point did I think this was a mass market product. My issue is that that Apple's doing their marketing thing, and they are showing it with regular people wearing it how they think regular people will wear it. They put so much money behind it. They put it on Good Morning America the next day. That's regular people, very much regular people. They funneled so much money into the YouTube ad that has like 50, 60 million views now. Like, they're making sure regular people get to see this. And so, as much as I want to say agree with you and be like, just it's not a mass market product. I get that, but they aren't exactly trying to keep it a secret either. In fact, they're doing the opposite. It's their most viewed video ever, isn't it?
Here's my question.
Let me check.
Everything you just said, I'm not disputing, but here's my question.
Okay, ask away, Andrew Edwards.
We all agree Apple is probably, I would say best, but I'm gonna at least say top 5 when it comes to marketing.
Oh, the best. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I rank anywhere near Apple when it comes to marketing. So here's my question.
Yeah.
With the knowledge they have of marketing plus their R&D, and I don't really understand, just to be honest, how R&D works with a product that no one has seen yet. Like, how do you do that? But
I guess the same way with just like, looking at the rest of the market, looking at the Quest, looking at the Vive, stuff like that.
If we agree that they are kings of marketing, then could it be possible that the marketing they're doing, even if we look at it as confusing, is actually the right marketing? In other words, what I'm saying is the average person looking at the dad cooking in the kitchen, and let's just say the average 20 to 30-year-old, since we're talking future here, and Apple is probably marketing towards people who will be able to buy this now and understand it now and where it's going. Are the people who Apple sees this product as in the future, are they watching things like, sci-fi movies and Black Mirror or whatever and thinking, that does look like the future. That does look like the future I want. Mm-hmm. That is the future I want. And Apple's making the future. And the way they're marketing it is different than any other product we've seen, even though, let's be honest, this is a VR headset. Because when you look through it, you're looking at lenses.
Yeah, you're not actually
right. This is a VR headset that gives you a VR experience of what AR is. That's what this is. But they didn't market it as a VR headset. They marketed it as something different and something almost to aspire to. So if we look at this from our perspectives of here's what products are in the past and here's what products are today, and we evaluate products all the time, is there, and I'm not saying this is true, but it's more of a question, could we be missing the point, which is the people that we're marketing to as Apple, they are going to aspire to this future that we know based on R&D and everything. This is the future they want. And we're showing them that this is what it is. And you might miss the point if you're like, I'm not going to wear this to make breakfast, or I don't want to wear this to take pictures of my kids, because there is a larger segment of people who will see this and say, that's exactly what I want to do. Could that be possible?
I think
totally
that's very valid. Yeah. I think that's a really good point.
That's totally fair. I think in the video that I did about the first one that I did about the headset, I said that I don't necessarily believe Apple is a technology company. I think they're a marketing company. I think that's what at their core, that's what they are. They don't really make anything themselves. They design them and outsource other companies to make them. But all they do is repackage it and make it seem like you need it. And that is Apple at their core, and I think that's why I was surprised the most, because on this show over and over again I kept saying this is Apple's job to tell us why we need it, or just regular people too, why they need it, why they need AR and VR. And I just feel like their idea of what this is is misguided and wrong. I think developers will ultimately save this the way they save a lot of things, but at least with Apple Watch and iPhone, I feel like we were on the right foot when we started. And I feel like in this, they just cut off its legs. There's no foot. There's no feet. And so I don't know. I hope that because that could be right. And I hope that the marketing works out. I just think that even regular people seeing that and go, yeah, that looks cool. I think it looks really cool. But it's just, how cool can it be after the 6th time, the 7th time, the 8th time? It's got to be more than just cool for you to keep picking it up.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the test. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying a year from now. God, I hope it's out by then. I feel like
early, and they reiterated early a lot of times. Early 2024. They kept early, like they would reiterate early.
Okay. So, does that mean January though? I feel like it means March or April.
It could be. I think January to March.
Yeah,
like first quarter.
So what is the second event when we hear more about this? Then is it September? Is it iPhone event?
I feel like it would be when launch happens. Yeah, it would be when launch happens.
February event.
Well,
really?
Don't remember when we were hearing. Remember when this was definitely launching this year, and it was definitely launching in January at its own dedicated event. Yeah. I think maybe that was just a year off.
I don't. Dedicated. It sounds weird. Like for the Apple Watch, I looked it up. So yeah, it was March 2015. About 6 months after they announced it, where they did talk about it for. Let me look.
Was that a dedicated event or no?
It was not. It was where they announced the all new.
Well, at the Apple Watch was just an accessory at that point. Like you needed your iPhone and.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they did a good 40 minutes more about it at this event. I don't.
Like maybe not a dedicated, but definitely.
I could see September if it would be launching in January or maybe October event. Maybe October.
I can't. Like
I can't either.
I feel like if it has to be announced upon a launch, so whatever event comes closest to the launch.
Friday, and it's coming next week. One of those things.
No way.
They can't
do that for the watch though.
But they can't go into September and be like, "Hey, remember that thing we told you to wait for? Yep, still waiting. See you in January." Don't say anything else until you're ready to ship it.
I mean, listen, the March event did that. It was just like, and it ships at the end. It ships in April. But it was the end of April. It was like the very last day in April they started shipping. So I'm saying that's realistic. If they do like an October event, they'd be like, it ships in 2020.
You didn't say October. You said September.
They could do September, bro. I'm spitballing. I didn't say I absolutely believe it's going to be in September.
I don't
see
know.
It possible, bro. But I don't see a dedicated event. That
you might be right.
Off. Just because they've never done that before. I don't know. I try to base it on historical facts.
Well, I guess when we say dedicated event, I don't mean that's all they're going to talk about. I mean the event, like that's the main event. That's the headliner of the event.
Like the iPhone event is the iPhone.
Yeah, that's the iPhone event. There's more stuff that's usually announced there, but that is very clearly the iPhone event. That's why they did the event.
You should use your words properly because that's not what dedicated means, Buster.
Buster.
How excited are you guys for, just out of curiosity, the next Quest?
I'm more excited now.
Less. Literally couldn't care.
Wait, Sam doesn't care. What'd you say, John?
I'm more excited about the Quest 3 now.
Are you more excited about it than a Vision Pro? Using one or buying one?
That's a tough question. I'm excited about them in different reasons. I'm excited because I know exactly what Quest is, and I'm excited for a better Quest experience. So, and I will use that more than Vision Pro. That's just, and I will repeat myself again. Yes, I'm going to buy Vision Pro. I feel like any of my opinions that I say here mean absolutely nothing. If I'm like, well, no, actually, I'm not going to try it. Then I'm just wrong and an asshole. I'm excited about Vision Pro because I want to try it. I want to experience it, but I'm not excited about what it does in my life, if that makes sense. I'm excited to try the experience, but I know exactly where Quest fits in my life, and I'm excited about that.
How often are you using a Quest? Yeah,
I use my
gaming specifically.
Yeah, just like being somewhere else, just doing just taking my mind away from. I don't want to fucking look at more. No, I don't want to do more work.
So I know we discovered later that there's like a 10-foot boundary in the Vision Pro.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I don't know. I think for me, like most of the VR games I play, I definitely stay within like 6 feet or so, 6 foot boundary. So wouldn't the Vision Pro be able to do the same things? Like
hopefully
things you're excited about, or I guess like what would lead you to think otherwise, I guess is my question.
Like that it's,
although we don't have the VR like controllers, which
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They didn't show that at all, number one. And if that was going to be a main selling point, they would have had game developers and the whole thing that they do for iPhone. They didn't do that at all. And they have really positioned this as almost like the Quest Pro and HoloLens stuff that historically has not worked. So that's what I'm saying. Like R&D is there to figure this out. And if I see that this doesn't work, I just don't know how Apple is, I don't get it. But
my counter to that, John, is that I don't think HoloLens and Quest Pro have worked because they sucked.
It's the concept itself that just doesn't work. That's the issue.
I disagree because the concept of a smartphone didn't work until Apple did the iPhone because it made it make sense.
My issue is there's a disconnect. There's a trade-off that's going to happen when you put something like that on. The concept only works in a small form factor. As glasses, as something that fits naturally into your life, that doesn't feel like you've made a sacrifice. When you put this massive thing on your head, you're sacrificing, and now you need to decide, is what it does for me worth the trade-off? I can handle the software issues with Quest. I can handle the fact that I put this thing on my face and it makes my face sweat for the experience I'm getting in return. And to just look at screens, I have no discomfort looking at the screen right now. Totally cool. I can do my work and do it well and whatever. I can FaceTime you, all the things that I would do on Vision Pro, but just require me to make a sacrifice in comfortability. And that is not it. That's just not it for me. I don't know how else in so many ways to say that, but it's like, okay, we give our data to apps when we use them. Like TikTok. TikTok knows what I think about most of the time. I'll start getting ads. But that is an understanding that I have. Does it make me comfortable that they know so much about me and have so much data? No. But do I feel that it's worth it in exchange for what I'm getting? And I honestly got to say, yeah. Like, I love TikTok. I love the platform. It's a little sus, a little sketchy, but that's the trade-off that I'm willing to make for a free app. That's just how it is. Like, every app collects our data, and so now the data is just the comfortability on my face. I'm giving that up, and I'm giving it up for what? I need to be... in order for me to think that that's worth it, I've got to be presented with something that makes that worth it. And nothing that they showed me, unfortunately, makes that worth it.
Actually, you know what? I don't want you to buy it. You're not buying Vision Pro.
Okay.
I want somebody that's actually going to appreciate it to get your unit.
Especially if there's only 100,000 of them out there.
Yeah, if there's only 100,000, I don't want you to be one of them.
So do you want me to sell it after I try it?
No, I want you to take your Quest 3 and I want you to go play your little stick golf with your Quest 3 at 12p and I want you to go have fun.
I said that.
And
I said that before.
Can play stick golf and I'll be in the future.
That's
and
fine.
you can be in Meta's future where you have this thing strapped on and you look like a cartoon. If that's what you want, you can have that.
Okay.
Can we thread in there? Can we thread inside the
Yeah, let me thread. Did everyone start their Threads
John,
account?
You're a silly, goofy guy, and you're saying a lot of stuff, but you're really not saying a whole lot.
When you disagree, I'm like, okay, you can disagree. When I give a very well thought out opinion that makes sense, even if you don't agree with it, you can see where I'm coming from. You just call me a silly, goofy guy and tell me not to buy one.
I see where you're coming
from. Just like everyone on Twitter.
I see where you're coming from in some ways. I don't see where you're coming from. A lot of what you just said doesn't make sense, where you're like, I'll give the Quest trade-offs are better than the Vision Pro trade-offs. That doesn't make sense.
For me, they are, yes.
But bro, you're comparing it to something. You're like, this thing I tried that I've used, I like. This thing that I haven't tried, they haven't showed me, but I don't like that one. Anything that you say will be fair once you have this product in your hand.
I could say the same thing for you. Like, I don't understand how the pitchfork is on my back because I'm being negative and I haven't tried it. But you are being positive and it's fine because you haven't tried it.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying it looks promising and there are definitely issues, but I'm going to wait. But you're just like, they didn't show me shit sucks. Vision Pro sucks. And I've noticed your audience feels broadly the same that I do.
They do.
So that's fine. I'm trying to help you see a different perspective.
I see the perspectives. Trust me, everyone in the audience is giving me the perspective, and you're right. Like, the majority of the audience shares the same vision as you and as a lot of the people. I would say this is the first time in my career where the majority of the audience just outright disagrees with me. And the fact that I'm not budging, even though everyone, like, I have lost hundreds of subscribers over this. That's and I'm not, I know,
silly.
That's silly, but like, I must really believe it if I'm not budging. And and you even said, like, okay, now that we're actually having a thought out discussion, like, it sounds like there's a lot of coping happening here.
Go back to my question real quick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
John,
go ahead.
How much of your excitement for the Quest 3 is related to the AR portion of the device?
Not a lot.
So, because I think that's, like, if I'm not mistaken, that feels like that's Meta's key selling point of the Quest 3. Obviously, hardware's better, and all the experience you already do now will be better. But it seems like the main thing that they're trying to get out there is now you'll be able to do AR, have AR experiences.
Uh-huh.
And you're saying that part isn't really what excites you about this purchase.
No, I honestly do like Quest and the experience that I have on Quest, and I have complaints about my experience as well. And any new product that will better that experience, I'm going to be excited for. Like, I am actually in on Quest, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to be in on something else too. But the Vision Pro announcement actually made me more excited about Quest 3. Like, when Zuckerberg put out the announcement early because they were trying to, get in front of Apple, that looked silly. And I was still, whatever. Like, Apple's going to really show you up and it's going to be amazing. But the vision that Meta has for a device that big on your face makes more sense to me than the vision that Apple has for a similar sized product, heavy product on your face. I understand that it's technologically incredible and does way more. It should. It's Apple. But yeah, the fact that I saw Apple not have the vision that I thought they should have for this made me more excited for the Quest 3 and to just, give that a shot and hopefully have a better Quest experience because of it.
Interesting.
And that's like Sam and I both got Quest Pro and returned it. So like that didn't work either. The same thing could happen. Like, I could get Quest 3 once it's announced and be like, "Oh, this is horse shit," and return it. That's happened before with Quest.
I just watched Meta's ad for the Quest 3 and they don't get it.
Okay.
Here, I think I just cracked it.
I don't think they get AR, but go ahead.
Meta is marketing to the existing market. Right now, the existing market is you play games. That's what it is. That's what you do that's what you do in VR. You play video games. All right. Most human beings on the planet don't play video games. Like, a lot of people do. A lot of people love video games. I love video games personally. I definitely play video games almost every night. I'm a Call of Duty head. I play all the time. But like, most people that own an iPhone, I don't think, like, the billion iPhones, I don't think there's not billion people playing like video games that would want to do that in VR.
Yeah, right.
Meta is marketing to that market because they know that that's how they can sell these in the short term. And there's no doubt in my mind that, like, right now, if you want to play video games in VR, yeah, the Meta Quest 2 is the best way to do that. There's just no question. I don't like it. It hurts me. I have a bad time in there. There's some magical experience I've had, but it's cool. Apple is marketing to the optimistic version, which is what they do with a lot of their projects. Like the Vision Pro is what this is gonna be. Like people are going to use AR to work.
You are right. It's the same thing I've been saying for years. AR is the future. VR is supplemental, but AR is the actual future. The issue, though, for me, though, Sam, is that they put their fantastic, everyone's going to use this AR experience in roughly the same package. Big thing, on your face, heavy, last 2 hours. That's where they got it wrong. I will repeat myself again. Apple's vision for AR, cool. Definitely believe in that. Needs to come out in glasses or not at all.
I gotta.
Listen, I get what you're saying. You're not wrong. I just strongly disagree.
Okay, that's fair.
I have a thought on
the
this
approach that they would take,
and I want to get you guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
Trying Vision Pro actually changed my mind about this.
Okay.
I have been looking forward to the future where you put on a pair of light glasses that you just look through. You're not looking at screens, and they can intersperse information in front of you.
Okay.
So you're walking down the street and like, hey, I want, I don't know, a chicken.
You can see Andrew Edwards' Threads account pop up.
Right, exactly. Just boom.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, go this way. We're like pointing you in the right direction. We're giving you information. Maybe you're on vacation. Hey, show me all like the cool information about this historic building or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're walking around a museum and things are popping up and telling you. I now feel like that is a subpar experience to what Apple has built. Now, I'm not talking about the weight of or the size of Vision
I know
Pro.
what you mean, yeah.
But if you had that, what I think a lot of people see as the future of this is where AR is going to go, you put those glasses on and you sit in an airplane seat, you can't have a 90-inch screen 10 feet in front of you because there's a seat right in front of you, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's, in my mind, become, I don't want a pair of glasses that I can see through and just have info pop up. I want to be able to dim the lights in whatever room I'm in and put whatever in front of me and not have things blocking. How does that become like a pair of like sunglasses that looks like you're wearing a pair of sunglasses? Like how do we keep what Vision Pro is doing? Because I feel that this actually is more futuristic and more usable and gets way more use cases than the other solution, which is here's a pair of glasses and we can just augment literal reality. But it feels like there's much less you can do with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You see, I always have doubts, and then every time I like actually sit down and go through the full spectrum of like the pros and the cons of this product, I always end being like, no, they're right. They're right. Like anytime I have a doubt, and I want to apologize for attacking you, John. You're very much entitled to your opinion.
It's fine. This is not only is the audience, but like go back to the last 3 episodes of Genius Bar, and it's just a fucking onslaught. I don't want to talk about this headset next week at all.
No, we're done. This is gonna be I think we're gonna call this the final Vision Pro debate, the final one, and then it'll be last minute Vision Pro debate, and then it'll be last second.
If there's anyone that could have possibly changed my mind, I think it's Andrew Edwards.
I mean, I don't think that there's any doubt that this product is going to have problems, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and for the most part, I agree with Andrew, but that is Apple's to figure out. Like, do the glasses tint and become sunglasses to, like, or is it something similar to what we have now where maybe it dims them all the way and you're not seeing actually through the glasses. Maybe you're seeing from cameras on the outside the glasses that are emulating your actual environment to dim the lights and whatever. I just don't feel like putting an AR experience in a VR headset package is the move. So I'm go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think you very clearly explained the problem you have with this product a minute ago in a way that I had not seen you do.
Well, thank you, because videos. Sam just told me I don't make any sense. So I'm glad that you think.
A minute ago when you really distilled it down to it is a heavy headset has 2-hour battery life. You're walking around with this, and this really is not it for you, right?
Yeah.
I think what you've said prior didn't get that point across, and it really felt more like Apple made the wrong decisions with the product that they have here, like just across the board. That's kind of what, and now it's, at least my understanding is, software, from the software side, you're down for it. The hardware is not where it needs to be yet, and therefore should not have been. They should have waited until the hardware was closer to kind of what you envision the hardware should be.
Yes,
but the software, it sounds like you don't have a problem with the experience that they showed.
I don't think so. And I'm not even saying like wait until you have actual glasses, but the form factor they put it in is not foreign. This is what every VR headset looks like, except this isn't a VR headset for the most part. It's mixed reality, or however they're positioning it. And yeah, something just closer to where we're actually headed before you launch it, and before you can only make 100,000 of them and have to charge $4,000 for it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll make a whole other video, but yeah, and I'm not just speaking for, I guess I'm speaking on my behalf, yes, but I'm also considering how I see other people reacting to this after they buy into it and use it, and the novelty wears off a little bit, because the novelty of VR and AR has worn off on people that have tried it. And so I think that even I'll be extremely impressed with my first experience on it, with the tech demo and how incredible the displays look, especially, from a Quest user who did that. There's like 2 pixels that you're looking into and just hoping for the best. So yeah, I'm very sure that my experience will be a positive one from a tech demo side, and just from holy shit, we can do this now. Technology's amazing. But it just has to be more than that for me to keep using it. And that's where I'm coming from.
And I agree, but I agree with Andrew. I agree with both of you right now. I especially agree with Andrew that isn't what I've heard from you. Yeah, I feel like you're saying.
I have been saying like this is too big of a package. I just took that and unpacked it.
Yes, but I think that's necessary for this, because I'm telling you how it reads, and it reads as Apple hater that's salty.
That's fine. And I don't know how it could read that way, because I have given you hours of me talking about this. I don't know how it could possibly read like a hater.
I'm mainly talking about people who don't watch the podcast, who have just watched if you made 1 or 2 videos on it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like because of course, I don't think folks have had a hard time, and I don't think I've had a hard time with you having an opinion and be like, I don't know about this. I think it's just the way of which you've gone about it. It feels like Apple hater, and I just feel like that. I feel like your thoughts are fair until it's out. But I feel like to hate on something before you try it is silly. And I will put myself
our only job,
on blast for doing the same thing about folding phones.
I was going to say, that is our job. And that's Apple's, to say that I shouldn't be able to speak to it until I try it. It's like, then why did Apple show me anything? That's the whole point of their events and their presentations.
So I know. You're supposed to get one of these and review it.
I was. And then I was
Pixel
like...
Folds.
What are your thoughts? No, let's jump. Okay, headset over. We did it. Everybody's happy.
Woo! We're not talking about it again until it's out.
I need John to drop a video called "What I Love About Vision Pro."
Okay,
that would be awesome.
It'll be a minute long.
Andrew, let's just start broadly. What are your thoughts on folding phones?
Using the Pixel Fold, what it really showed me was my problem. I've never been super excited about them. Like, I'm excited from a technology. Oh, how cool is this that you can do this? But never to be like,
yeah, I
want one yet, or feel like they're ready for prime time. And what the Pixel Fold has shown me is, so the Pixel Fold is my favorite foldable that I've personally used.
Wow.
And it's completely due to the form factor and aspect ratio of the outer and inner displays.
It's cute.
Yeah, it feels way more usable using the outer display. It literally feels like you're using just a smartphone, right? Whereas the Galaxy Fold with its like
the
tall,
outside is like primitive,
right? And it's like tall and like, why is it so tall? And like, this is just not. It doesn't feel right when you're using it. The Google Pixel Fold feels right when you're using it. However, each foldable that I've used, including the Pixel, in order to do the things that are good, it has to compromise on other things to get there. So, for example, the Pixel Fold closes so tightly without an air gap or whatever, like Samsung has an air gap. However, in order to do that, they have to put all the hinge mechanics on the top and bottom, which causes a huge border or bezel on the inside, which I personally don't care about bezels or notches or whatever, but I know so many people do. So you want your foldable to close tightly and be as thin as possible. We solved that. We solved it by giving you a much thicker bezel than Samsung has, because that's the only way to do it right now. So it's like there's so many, or like, okay, you're buying a Pixel. This is an $1,800 device. You're buying a Pixel. Usually when Google releases a new Pixel, I think in the tech world, we know this. It's like, don't buy it day one, because within 60 days, it's going to be like $100 off or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you buy a Pixel 7 Pro or Pixel 7 even, I forget what they're like $600 today or something like that. You could probably find one for $600, $700. So this is $1,000 to $1,200 more, and the cameras are not as good. If you're paying twice... Now, Sam, hold on, like, because it's still a Pixel camera, which is still great. But I'm just saying, if you're paying at least 2 times as much, you would hope to get at least on par cameras, like same camera experience, right? But then you would have to have this half of the foldable be as thick as a Pixel 7, and then that means to have, it would have to be so much thicker. So it's like there's so many little compromises for foldables still, where the things that are good because they had to cut corners elsewhere. That I'm just like, it doesn't feel that way with a candy bar style phone to me, whether it's an iPhone or an Android device. Like that's the thing that needs to be solved. Is we're always going to compare, if it's a smartphone like this, we're going to compare it to other smartphones on the market, where they fold or not. And the other phones that don't fold are so refined that every year it's like, what are they even going to do now? Because what's left?
That's why we have foldables.
So good.
That's how foldables happen, because people like us were bored.
Right. But for me, like.
But you can tell, like, let's say it's a perfect foldable. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a perfect foldable. All the areas where they compromised, not a compromise. Okay. Are you still going to use that over a regular phone just because it opens up?
My perfect foldable would have to be an iPad mini that folds in half. It would have to be.
First of all, starting off strong. You using iPad mini and foldable with me in the same sentence, not looking good.
First of all, I'm not a fan at all of the iPad smartphone that just folds in half.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like those. The flip.
Are you going to say a tablet that's just more portable?
I need a tablet.
Yes. Okay. There someplace you can find clips on Front Page Tech when foldables were brand new. When I was like, this concept makes way more. You don't need to make a portable thing. It's not even less portable. It's just more. Yeah. Whereas you could make a tablet experience actually portable, and now it makes sense.
Yes. Yep. Now there are average people out there that love the flip form factor. They love it so much.
Flip makes sense.
No, the flip, not the fold. The fold is
that's what I'm saying. Flip makes more sense to me than fold.
No. You guys are on opposite spectrum. Andrew's saying he likes the unfold like a book.
Yes. So fold.
John's saying he likes the open.
No, I'm saying for regular people, mass market, I get why people like the flip ones. Not that I want one. I understand that more.
The flip will never be for me. The fold, though, if I can get it, basically, it would have to be an iPad mini, because I want it to be an iPhone when it's folded. And then if it's iPhone size and you unfold it, how is it going to be anything but an iPad mini? Like, it just makes sense. It's going to be in the inch size range. Now, all of the foldables that we have, like from Google, from Samsung, these have 120 hertz displays on the inside. Mm-hmm. Like Apple does not have that small iPad mini with that. Like that's basically all I want. If they can make me an iPad Pro mini, I would be like, that would be the best tablet for me. But anyway,
you're hurting Sam.
But
poor Sam this episode.
So if it's that foldable, I would happily put that in my pocket. If it was an iPhone that I could unfold into an iPad mini form factor, I'd probably use that all day. Like that would be fantastic for me. I don't see the negative there, I guess.
You know, I'll agree with you. Show me a folding tablet. We're wasting our time on folding phones. It's
Sam,
such a
we
silly,
finally agree.
But it's a silly pursuit, and so many people will fight me, bro. The one person, this is a real story. I have to share this because this sounds like I made it up, but I witnessed it in real life. One of my best friend's girlfriends has the Z Flip 3.
Okay.
Her brother comes into town. He doesn't come visit that much, or he doesn't touch her phone that much. He knows it's a folding phone. You can see the crease, so he folds it in because it was, unfolded. She looks back and she realizes he accidentally folded the phone, and she goes, "Oh my God, did you just fold it? What are you doing?" He's like, "What do you mean it's a folding phone?" She goes, No, every time you fold it, it breaks, and then I have to take it to the shop.
What?
We've been to the shop 10 times in the past year, and I can't go back to the shop again.
Oh
You can't fold it.
The shop.
I'm confused.
And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" So she starts to tell me the story. Her foldable phone has broken 10 times in a year since she's had it. And the only way it doesn't consistently break is when she leaves it unfolded. As soon as she folds it in and unfolds it, it breaks again within days.
So she has to treat it like it's a Galaxy S23?
Why didn't she just get another one?
Right. What?
Listen,
shop is she
I've
going
got
to?
questions too.
Yeah,
I've got
shop?
questions too. But apparently, it's
she's
all
taking
in the
it to
warranty of the
Circuit
phone.
City and just
She
waiting by the front door.
Take it to these guys that won't fix the phone. My point is,
Sam, were you there? You were there in person for this.
Yes, when the brother folded it and she got pissed.
Okay, so when they unfolded it, it was broken?
No, but she was like, she was scared. She's like, it might not turn back on now.
Oh my God.
And that was a moment where I'm just like, man, it feels good to be right about folding phones.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So my point being,
but how
they're
is that?
silly,
how's
goofy
that,
things.
Okay, but how's that fair for you to not like folding phones? Call them silly, goofy things before trying one.
No, I have actually touched one before. I made a TikTok about it. You can follow me at I'm Sam Kohl on TikTok.
Okay, but
100K before September journey.
You had been saying foldables are not it. Why? Because you didn't believe in the concept that they were presenting you. Yes.
Yes.
Why is it unfair for me to do the same thing with this Vision Pro? Apple
Well,
presented me with a
myself out a second
concept.
ago.
I think the concept is wrong. Ta-da.
Okay, it's also not the first folding phone ever, or the first folding phone of its type. But I called myself out for that. I said that that's not necessarily fair. But see, I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite for folding phones because I was so hard against them. Now, I will say I'm right. I will defend my honor there.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like this is a product unlike anything else, so it's not really fair to compare it to anything else. When we have a lot of folding phones. I've touched ones that are okay, like the Hawaii makes one that's like
Hawaii. I love them.
It's like fine. It's pretty. I've seen it. Again, nothing beats the rectangle. Show me something better than the rectangle.
That's why I pick you as a friend. You are a rectangle.
I am. Maybe it's because I identify most closely with a rectangle phone. Like it looks like me. People like things that are like them, and that's why guys, I have to reel something. I've been wearing Apple's AR glasses for the past 2 years.
Wow, just now revealed. Incredible. Wasn't ready for that. Audio listeners, you can't see, but I can see a bunch of stuff displayed on his glasses right now. Whoa, Andrew Edwards is on Threads now? That's really cool.
The last subject we should talk about, because I want to hear Andrew's perspective on this. Yeah, let's talk about Threads. New social network from Meta just launched.
We didn't talk about the other thing, though, yet.
We don't. I can't talk about the iPad mini.
Ad block thing.
Oh, okay.
You did promise that, Sam.
I did promise that. Okay. you want to do ad block, or you want to do?
You get
I gotta do both. I don't care.
Run down the ad block thing real quick.
Let's do ad block first. I put out a tweet. I got ratioed harder than I think I've ever gotten ratioed in my Twitter career. People,
pretty impressive.
Majority of people on the platform vehemently disagreed with me.
Okay.
So let me just set it up like that. I tweeted about a week ago.
This is your Vision Pro moment.
I said, no, I stand by this. I feel more confident in this than I ever have. I said, quote, let me share this tweet up on screen. If you use ad block, you don't care about creators point blank. I have never used ad block, and I never will.
Okay.
So 600 likes on my tweet. Quinn replies, interesting take, an incorrect one, but an interesting one. 3 times the amount of likes on his tweet.
I'm not shocked by that result, but yeah.
He explains a number of things to share his perspective. I disagree with almost all of them, which is why I would love to talk to him about it. Like, it's not fair for me to have a one-sided, like, just rip apart his tweets. Like, that's not fair. So, yeah, I want to have a conversation. You want to call him
out right now like I called Andrew Edwards out?
Yeah, no, Quinn, I would love, I want to have this conversation in a way that's not through the, because it was one of those things where I tweeted this late at night. He's sending off, 4 or 5 tweets. I don't have time to reply to every claim and every tweet. Like, I feel like he wanted to have the conversation on Twitter, and I was like, I want to have it in person. So like, I think I asked him to come on, maybe I texted him personally. Anyway, I couldn't go through claim by claim, tweet by tweet and reply, because that's like, just not how a conversation about something like this works. So yeah, I mean, my perspective is very much what I said. I stand by this. People are going to say what they want, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, yeah, it's an inconvenience for you, the viewer. Yeah, ads aren't fun. I don't love looking at ads. And anything other than that is just false. People arguing privacy, people arguing tracking. You don't care about that because you probably also use a social media that tracks you, like something from Meta, something from like ByteDance with TikTok. The people that are saying these things are looking for a reason to justify their behavior. And I get it, but morally, I believe it is wrong. And that's where I stand.
Andrew Edwards?
Here's my take. I think your original tweet is, I'm not going to say wholeheartedly. I agree with the sentiment of your tweet. And the further in the past we go, the more I'm in line with your tweet. However, I do agree with Quinn when it comes to what ads are today, as of like 4 or 5 years ago. Giving up, as Jon said a minute ago, like he's willing to give up, different things for different experiences. Mm-hmm. If you're using TikTok and they're tracking you, that is a different experience than go to a website that's heavy on ads and watch.
Have you seen the new Tech Radar? It's basically just an ad.
And it's not even about. See, for me, it's not about the advertisement, right? Like if I put an advertisement in my content and I'm showing you an advertisement and you choose to block that, I understand and agree with Sam's take there. However,
go to like an actual article.
If we're watching TV and an ad comes on, we all know what that is. We're watching a piece of video that shows us, McDonald's has a new burger and there's, Sears has a sale this weekend, whatever it is, right? When a TV ad comes on, we know what we're getting. We're getting a piece of video and audio that's selling us something.
Yeah.
On the internet, that is a lie. We think we're just seeing a banner ad that's promoting something, and we click on it, then we're going to get taken to there. But that's not what's happening. Your attention data is going from place to place to place. You're browsing where you put your mouse. Like one thing, not to go back to Vision Pro, but one thing a lot of people miss when Apple was like, we're not selling where you look.
Yes.
Because if and I don't know if other headsets do sell that or not, or share that or not.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But Apple made a point to say, if you're browsing a website and your eyes gaze on, a paragraph of text for 2 minutes, we're not going to let someone know, for 2 minutes they were interested in this. Now we can market to, or if you're looking through it at your house, We're not going to let that gaze data be used to market to you. On the internet, every single thing you do on a website is being sold and resold, and they're building profiles of you.
And just breadcrumbs of everything you visited in order. Like, it's not just an ad that you saw on that. The data behind that ad is following you to the next one, too. It's crazy.
And it's crazy because they'll say this data is anonymized, so it can't be matched towards you. But if you take all the data, like location data, and you compile it, they actually can identify you. And how many people are aware of this? Like, I'm aware of this because I'm into this world, and it's interesting to me to know that. Most people don't realize that the banner ad is not just a banner ad. So for me, it's like, I understand if someone says, I'm not okay with this. I'm fine looking at ads, but I don't want to be tracked around the internet and have profiles of me or my family or my kids or whoever I have my phone to sold and resold and used against me or used to market towards me. So therefore, I'm going to start using an ad blocker. Once that started, I completely understood why someone would use an ad blocker.
Yeah.
And I no longer took offense to people doing it. Prior to learning that, I did take offense to it, and I never would use one. I still don't use them personally, but I no longer have a problem if people use them, and I don't have the same view that they don't care about the creator anymore like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's just like when Mark Zuckerberg, I forget where he said this, if it was an interview or if it was in court or what, but in response to the Apple's app tracking transparency thing where you can say do not track, and they started losing all this money, his answer in whatever this was basically saying that he believes that companies are owed your data. Who is Apple to stop us from taking this data? Who is Apple to give the customer an option to say no?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I shouldn't be able to say you can't have it. You just believe it's just yours for the taking, so that you can build like, for me, again, when I see it, it's like, okay, I get why people would want to block that. And I'm not going to say that anyone who uses an ad blocker is just making an excuse and using this as an excuse. For me, it's like, it's disgusting. Like the ad industry on the internet.
It
disgusts me. And so that's why
look at this fucking website right now. This is the new Tech Radar. When I said it's all an ad, I'm not exaggerating.
It took a few pages, but yeah, we got there.
Like that's fucking Tech Radar. I'm sorry, guys. Like that's fucking ridiculous. And that is why, like, so for transparency, Sam. Now let me give you context. I do use an ad blocker. I use it specifically on Chrome and specifically when I'm getting screenshots for Front Page Tech. I do that because the ads on that page, like this, Best Buy didn't pay us right now. Best Buy and TCL did not pay to have that ad in Genius Bar right now. So I will block the ads on websites and stuff when I'm showing articles for B-roll. But I think, I agree with you, Sam. I just think that you were a bit abrasive on how you said it. You like criminalized anyone that uses it, and I think that's where the pushback happened. Like, I agree with what Quinn said too. I just think context really matters. Like on a website like Tech Radar, that's a lot of ads, but it's not preventing me from seeing the information. So I probably wouldn't use an ad blocker there. It's sort of discretion. If the ads are just literally blocking my view of information or making it harder, I will use an ad blocker. But there's certain instances where, to me, yeah, it's just bullshit to use. Like on YouTube, there's a perfect avenue. I think that ads, especially on Sam videos, are very intrusive, and it's like hard to justify.
What do you mean, especially on my video?
You go a little mid-roll heavy, friend.
Every 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have control over the ads. Like, you put them in every 2 minutes, but YouTube might go, okay, here's a fucking 60-second ad that you got to watch right now, and just like, it is a lot, but I still don't think you have an excuse to use an ad blocker there because they give you an avenue. YouTube Premium exists for that reason. So to use ad block on YouTube or brag about using YouTube Advanced or whatever, like, fuck you. No, that's not.
I agree.
It's not as cool as you think it sounds.
I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say back.
Say all of your stuff back.
First of all, I got caught in a lie. I have used an ad blocker before. I did it for the same reason as John, screenshots for videos. I have done that before because they didn't pay for that ad space.
Okay.
That is the only context in my entire life, and I don't do it anymore. I stopped doing it because I still believe that those websites deserve to get that fraction of a penny for my view. Another thing that a lot of people have overglossed is they think I said you shouldn't use an ad blocker anywhere on the internet ever. That's not what I said.
But that's how I read, and to use your words.
And that was actually my understanding too.
Sure, and that's fair. I said a key word that people overlook because they felt attacked, and I did this tweet intentionally because I had a feeling it was going to go this way. Like I didn't tweet this, and I was like, oh, most people will agree with me. My entire life, my friends, they will cite times in high school when I got into heated arguments with them about using ad blockers in my early days of doing YouTube. I've been like this since one subscriber. Like, this is not he wants the maximum money. And I'll break off and talk about that in a second. But I've always been vehemently against it because people deserve to get paid. And everyone, I agree that the tracking is gross, and I agree that the ad industry can be nasty. But as you reference, on YouTube, there's an alternative. On most of the internet, it's not. But creators need money to do what they do. And right now, as scummy and dirty and gross and icky as ads are, that's what it is. And when you're starting up on YouTube, when you're starting up on TikTok, that's how you make money. I wish that there was a better alternative. I wish everybody could sunset shine the roses.
For TikTok, though.
I guess not in the app. And that applies to YouTube mobile as well. But my point being, everyone, like, you don't get to say, I'm blocking ads until you show me a better system, creator, because that's not fair to the creator. That's 100% on the side of the audience. And like, creators need money, bro. I'm always on the side of the people that don't have the knowledge to do sponsorships, that might be making, like, full transparency, for years, I made 100% of my living off of strictly YouTube AdSense.
Yeah, but that is just... That's just goofy, is what that is. Yeah. Like, there are people that's all they depend on, but like, then you're doing the wrong thing.
But that's an education problem. That's not an ad problem. That's a creator knowledge.
I don't want to excuse the so you have creator, you have viewer or consumer, and you have the advertiser.
Yes.
The advertiser is the villain here. And they're villainizing the viewer, the consumer, and they're rewarding the creator for give me access to villainize your consumer or your viewer, right? And
when you say it like that, it sounds icky.
Right. I don't want to excuse, I don't want to excuse the villain here, because I don't think the villain is the person who's blocking the true villain. The villain's the villain, right? The villain is the advertising. Oh shit, Andrew be spitting right now. Okay. So I'm not going to demonize the person that says, I am not going to allow. I love watching Sam videos. I love watching John videos. I love watching Quinn videos. But I'm not going to allow this scummy company to steal my data and use it against me so I can learn about what today's Apple rumors are. Right?
Yeah.
Like that. So that the problem is the ad industry, and that's what needs to be fixed. And it's okay with me for someone to avoid that. I think I'm probably the poster child, or one of the poster childs, for
supplementing other income,
having number of subscribers to revenue generated.
Yeah, like if you took my YouTube ad revenue away, I'd be completely fine, because it's my responsibility, if I want my business to survive, to plan for this. It's not that I made the video. It was my choice, and the viewer is rewarding me with their time it's not also on them to like, it's not their sole responsibility to make me money. I disagree that like if you're on YouTube and you're using an ad blocker rather than using YouTube Premium because the avenue's there, I think it's a bit messed up, and I think you should pay for YouTube Premium. There's a way to get no ads across YouTube, and it's great. YouTube Premium was called YouTube Red back in the day. I bought it day one, have never not used it.
Same.
And there are plenty of other websites that allow you to at least eliminate most of the ads through a subscription, and that's just up to you to decide if that website if that value is there for you to give up $8 a month or however much.
Yeah, and to clarify, there were some people in the replies in my tweet. They're like, "So I can't even use YouTube Premium?" That's not what I'm saying. No. Of course, like I'm not like, and I don't support YouTube Premium. Of course, I support YouTube Premium because that's a transaction happening for me.
Yep.
And this is one of my faults as a human, right? But I am saying by the fact that the relationship between me putting out content and someone watching the content, I really appreciate people's time. But like, you spend time shopping in Walmart, they don't give you a discount because you've spent certain amounts of time walking through the aisles or looking at things. Like, it is transactional for me. If you're watching my content, I believe that I should be compensated in some way other than leisure time, right? Just like hanging out with me. That's not to say I don't appreciate the audience. That's not to say that I don't love all of them, because I do. Like, I don't want this to be like, give me money, that's all you're worth to me. Yeah. I'm just saying, on a principle standpoint, I wouldn't walk into your business and expect something for free. And I think that again, you guys Andrew specifically make very good points about the tracking and in the ad industry.
That is my only problem with it, by the way.
Okay. And that's fair, right? Like, again,
same. That's the thing. Like, I do agree with you. I agree with you. I think context matters.
I think many people, I would argue the vast majority, I don't have statistics, I believe the vast majority of people use that as a scapegoat, and they're just lazy because they don't want to see ads.
I agree with that too.
I agree with that
okay,
too.
Okay.
I agree with that too.
I agree with that 3.
Okay, well then, I think we're on the same page, because
I do agree with that too. Yeah.
I think what
that it can't just be an argument between creator and viewer and leave out like the biggest problem, which is advertiser. That's the problem.
Okay, I agree.
You know, Gruber's website, Daring Fireball, right? He has one ad.
Love how he does it. Yeah.
And his ad doesn't. It's a picture, and you click on it, and it takes you to a sponsor. If someone ad blocked that, I would have a problem with that, because it's not making the page slower. It's not tracking you at all. You just don't want to see ads, and now he's not making money.
Like I almost think websites and just anything that presents ads in general, it's a trust exercise. It's like, yes, the advertisers are the bad guys, and we should think of them as bad guys, but also, as a platform, there's a trust. There's a level of trust where it's like there is a line between appropriate amount of ads and actually disgusting.
Yeah.
And I think if you fuck with that trust, like Tech Radar is, sorry to keep singling them out, but they just came out with a new design today and it's filled with ads. So, I mean, but that is like right on the line where I can't even decide, okay, is that a gross amount of ads or is that appropriate? That's how close to the line that is. Because it's not really intruding on me getting the information from the website. It's just annoying. And annoying, I don't think, is enough to justify ad blocker.
I agree.
I think it's just, I think every website, every platform has to have, like, I personally don't think, and Sam, I'm sorry, this is not against you, but I don't think YouTube should allow Sam to put a mid-roll in at every 2 minutes in a video. Like, that's a platform issue. What do you mean?
Just to clarify how that works, if you put a mid-roll every 2 minutes, that doesn't mean everybody's going to see a mid-roll every 2 minutes. Yeah. That means that, because YouTube wants to give a viewer an ad, I believe it's every 7 minutes of viewing.
Okay.
So if you put it every 2 minutes, then and they just watched an ad from me 1 minute ago, then once they hit the 7 minute mark, the next mid-roll you have, they'll put an ad there. But they're not going to sit through a 10-minute video and give someone 5 mid-roll ads, just so people know how that works.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
And that's how long I've had YouTube Premium. I have no idea how the ads work on YouTube.
Yeah. No, and I have YouTube Premium as well. I use it because I don't...
Except on this show.
But like, I guess my answer is like, I don't like ads. So I'm going to pay up so that people get rewarded for their hard work. And not everybody's in the same financial situation. So it's like, if you are, there's a free option. You just got to look at this thing. And hey, sometimes you might like what this thing has. Like, I don't have a demonization of ads. Like, I truthfully, I don't mind ads. I know I'm in the minority. Like, I know that I'm not right there, but like, I do not mind ads overall. Because at the end of the day, I know, and this comes from perspective, right? As a creator, I know that YouTubers getting a little bit of money out of that. I know they're making a little bit. And even though I'm going to be pissed for up to 60 seconds, 1 minute of my day, to know that someone will have a chance to do what they love or work for, that's always worth it. And whether it's the CEO of Tech Radar getting a fatter paycheck or the journalist specifically getting a cut, I'm willing to do that. And that's just me. Again, I'm not saying that everyone needs to love ads. I think I'm just asking for folks to tolerate them so that more creativity is possible and enabled. Because like something else that Quinn mentioned is he was like, just do direct to pay, start a Patreon, do sponsor. And it's like, again, it's easy to say when you're a large YouTuber, and that's something that I could probably do now. But like, I couldn't do that for the first 5 years of my YouTube career. So if everybody used AdBlock, and that's not really a fair argument because not everybody does. But like, that was my sole income. I'm not saying I was the smartest. I'm saying I had a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to learn. If that's the system that exists right now, and it is with AdBlock all or nothing, it's got to be all from my perspective.
I don't mind ads either. My problem is not with ads. Like for Tech Radar, what you just showed, like that's their choice to show it that way. And my choice is I either am annoyed by it and I don't go to that website, or I'm fine with it or don't mind it and I go to the website. But that's just the ad. Like that's the visual look of the website. What I have a problem with is the tracking and the information stealing, and people don't even know it's happening. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
People don't even
And that
know
can happen by
that's
tiny
happening.
ads that aren't intrusive, That's like, you don't even know.
That's my major issue, and that's what I want to block. That's my major issue. I don't mind advertising at all, and I totally get that that's what helps pay people. I have a problem with I go somewhere and I don't know all this, and I don't realize how much of my data is being taken and to be used against me later just because I went to a website to like look up a recipe or something. Like that just to me sounds ridiculous.
But at the same time, a website you went to got the recipe for free. Like our access to information. That's what I'm saying. It's this TikTok thing. Like I know I'm giving you everything, but I'm also getting value out of that. So, and at this point, it's 2023. If you don't know you're giving up your life in data, like when you see ads on websites, like obviously some education has to occur. But there's such a fine line between the predatory behavior and whose responsibility it is, and the platforms and the creators, and then the viewers.
Do you tap do not track, or do you tap go ahead?
Oh no, I'll say I'll ask the app not to track.
Why?
Because given the ability to reduce the amount of tracking, I'll opt for that. It's not removed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Like, yeah, of course.
Do you do that anytime you're prompted? Because I don't. I will allow certain apps to track.
Interesting.
Yeah, like if I use the app a lot, and not on like I don't want to say it's as deep as like a moral issue. Like I'm not, when the pop-up comes up, I'm not like, okay, let's write a pros and cons list. Is this worth it? It's just
that's just me.
Yeah, there's certain like, unfortunately, I know that if I let certain apps track, my ads will also be better. Like I'm going to see ads regardless. Might as well show me something I might be interested. I have bought a lot of things from TikTok.
Has anybody on a large scale ever tried to make a YouTube Premium for the internet? where it's an
Like
ad block product that publishers sign up for, and they get a fraction of everybody's.
It would only be Google that could do that, right? At this point,
it has to be the source, basically.
But like,
all the ads you see are basically all from Google.
Dude, think about it. $9.99 a month.
Like
let's say $14.99 a month for the entire
AdSense
web.
Premium.
I'd pay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd pay.
I would do it.
Wait, isn't there something like that?
If there is, I would sign up.
Didn't Twitter try to do that?
Yes, Twitter Blue used to give a fraction of your Twitter Blue subscription
right.
pre-fucking Elon
there was
Musk.
there were no
destroyed it.
ads on the website, and
Elon got rid of it.
Yes, it was called Twitter Blue for publishers, and 9to5 Mac, and that suite was on there. And yeah, it was great. When you'd click on an article in Twitter, you wouldn't get ads because they were getting a fraction of your subscription.
Yep.
That's what we need. That would be sick. Then, yeah, I mean that.
I do agree.
Just
to bring it back, Sam is correct that most people who use AdBlock just don't want to see ads and don't care about any of these other issues. I totally agree with that. But just because that happens, I still feel like there has to be a way for people who do know and are concerned to block and not be correct.
The idea that you have for like an internet-wide YouTube Premium, I don't think will ever see the light of day because the amount of data at scale that can sell for a price that is ridiculous just will never match us paying $9 a month or something. Like a wide database of immensely collected data on millions of users sells for way more than they would ever make from us, trying to pay $9 a month to get rid of ads on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just worth too much.
That's true.
It's a really gross business. Andrew was, he hit the nail on the gross little head.
Yeah. Okay, last
else?
thing. This has been a long pod. Holy shit.
Yep.
Last thing. Speaking of fucking Twitter,
Threads.
Yeah.
Instagram's meta competitor,
yes, sir,
Threads, is now available in the App Store. Anybody with an Instagram account can sign up. You got your same username. Your follows automatically propagate. Your bio automatically propagates. Will it kill Twitter?
Pumped.
Will it kill Twitter, Andrew Edwards? You've been on there for about 6 hours.
I'm going to tell you what's most exciting to me. Now, they were going to launch this later. And Elon Musk's rate limiting made them pull this forward and launch it. So amazing. The one feature I was excited about was ActivityPub integration, which is not done yet, but they still promised today it's still coming. For those who don't know what that means, it's basically like email. So imagine if Twitter was like I can send you an email from Gmail, and if you're at Yahoo, you'll get it. And if someone else is at AT&T, they can reply back to me, and we'll all see each other's email. We don't have to be on the same service.
Yeah.
So imagine that for tweets, where you don't have to be on Twitter to see someone's tweet. You don't have to be on Threads to see someone's thread. You can be on a different service, and as long as you subscribe to my address, you can see my content. So this whole thing with Mastodon being Twitter's, alternative, it's so difficult for the average person to understand and get set up on. It's gotten a lot better over the past few months, but still not that easy. Instagram is going to integrate with ActivityPub, which means you don't need to use Threads to see threads. And you can follow people if you use Threads who don't use Threads. So now Threads can be the one place you go to, which is simple to sign up for. You don't have to figure out Mastodon. Yet you can
everyone
follow
on Earth,
Mastodon or anywhere.
Everyone on Earth has a Meta account.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is going to be so. I'm so excited about it because I have grown to hate Twitter more and more every day. Like
I fucking hate that place.
Just, what the heck? I used to I have my Twitter account. I think is 18 years old. By the way, I've been on Twitter since Samothy was 2 years old. Okay, I have been there for a long time, and I've loved. There was a time where I loved it, going there every day. Like it was just my friends are there, and the people who are interested in what I'm interested in are there. And now it just feels like a terrible algorithm that just tries to feed me things that are upsetting.
So bad. And I'm like, you're gaslit every day by the CEO. It's like rate limit, and then all his fucking tweets are, how ironic. You people are hitting rate limits by complaining about the rate limit. Like, fuck you, dude. He's a witch. He's an actual witch, I think. I can't stand, and people are like, oh, Jon Prosser's still here on Twitter. Yeah, I fucking hate Twitter. I want to leave Twitter. I'm only there because you're there. It's my job to be where you are, and you guys are still there. And
Thanks,
not you, fuck you, the audience. You guys are still there, so it's like almost my responsibility to at least be present in a way, which is why I'm so excited about Threads. Like, this is not just another Twitter competitor. Right. This is an existing database of users ready to pop off. Let me put this in perspective. Twitter every day has an active user base of 300 million people. Instagram has an active user base of 2 billion with a B. All those accounts, instant access to Threads if you just download the app. It just works. Facebook is like prehistoric and everyone makes fun of it, but everyone is on Facebook. Even if you're not actively using it, everyone is on there, at least for messages or just to see what their friends are up to. This is a more topical version for those accounts and for those people where it is more current, more in the moment. And I don't think Twitter's going to die because they don't, what defines them dying? It's a private company now. He bought it. He's already out all that money. Like, all he has to do is just keep it alive. That's not what, I don't think I'm worried about that. I could care less. All I want is for Threads to be significant enough for me to not have to use Twitter. If enough people are on Threads, that rids me of Twitter. And I will be gone.
What I'm doing, I'm listening, but I was using Threads, and I got to say,
it's pretty solid.
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
If anyone's going to do it, it's Zuckerberg.
I definitely got to unfollow some people and make it tech only because that's what I like about my Twitter. Is like I don't see like
I didn't take everything.
Me and Chelsea are having our 4th child.
Yeah, I didn't take all that stuff.
I'm trying to see when iOS 17 beta 4 is dropping, baby. Which is why I love Twitter and I don't.
So we're hopeful for Threads.
I'm very. I want to make that my default, whatever you call microblogging or whatever you call Twitter service. Like, I want to not have to use Twitter. And if Threads is the one, like Threads, I feel like is the best chance to get a real alternative.
Very much the best.
Follow me at Sam Kohl on Threads.
Did you follow me though,
bro?
I followed Andrew Edwards right away.
Follow me right away before the show.
Dude,
I know
also,
not to
you
come
got
in here
verified before they make you pay for that shit.
Who? Me?
You've been verified for a long time.
Oh yeah, they verified me. They contacted me to verify me. I was like, what the heck? Okay.
Okay.
God, I wish I started paying for verification on Twitter for Apple Track.
Why would you pay them versus paying Instagram? My question.
It is. That's a whole other thing.
Well, also,
it
he
is
didn't pay for his personal account.
What the algorithm bump is, dude. Tweets that would get 30, 40K views on verified are doing 300K, 400K. Like,
now that Threads is here, would you get verified on Instagram to get the bump in both apps?
Is the meta check a bump? I thought it was just like.
Oh, maybe not actually.
I did verify myself on meta stuff.
What you what?
I verified myself on meta stuff.
So you're paying.
Yeah, it's
really?
$14.99 a month, and especially like while people are signing up for Threads and finding me, I feel like that's important right now. With my Twitter account, I already have 450,000 followers, whatever. But I think people coming into Threads that are funneling in, it's important that they see that that's actually me.
Oh, you did. Okay, here's the thing about verification on Instagram. They make you use your legal name. So in the hypothetical where maybe someone
my understanding
goes by a different name,
you can use a last initial.
Interesting.
My understanding is you can use a last initial.
Because
I could be Andrew E.
Jon Prosser is not my legal name, and I'm using that.
Oh,
wait! Didn't you have to submit your documentation?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say this: I tried to get verified on Meta.
You did.
They denied me.
Interesting.
Really?
Yes.
But if you used a last initial.
I'll try again.
Yeah, try Sam K.
Yep.
That matches your legal name. And
because I know women who are content creators who don't want their real name out there for obvious reasons, and so they just went with like a last initial, and it worked.
But then will people be able to find me if I'm just Sam K?
Your username,
you can still have whatever your @ is.
Yeah, your username can be whatever.
It's just what displays on your profile page, and then it's going to be verified anyway.
It's $15 a month, like.
But they're actually verifying you.
No, I know. Like, if you're going to pay for one, I get it.
Yeah, they're actually verifying you with your ID.
No, I just still hate that anyone can buy a check mark because.
But that's
I don't mind it.
Elon fucked it up. As long as as long as you're actually verified, like
for me, it was very helpful in my feed to see tweets from people with a larger voice.
Same.
Like it was very helpful. And dude, literally people I know are getting trolled by accounts on Twitter regularly. And like, I'm just going to say this, and maybe this is just like me salty because I'm not verified on Meta, but like when I see somebody on Instagram that has 400 followers, oh, it's me, guys. It's the real Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, you're paying 15. Like you could buy Netflix, but instead you're paying so you have a blue check.
But paying for Netflix is like paying the garbage people to come dump the garbage on your driveway.
I know. I just feel like the culture of buying a check is cringe. It's ruined the coolness for me. It's ruined the coolness. I felt cool and elite with my check mark. Dude, I remember exactly where I was the day I got verified. I was I'm not fucking with you.
Can we not say
I
this?
was sitting right in that fucking chair.
Stop. You can stop
I was
right
having
now.
a bad fucking day. And Apple Track got verified, and I felt for the first time in my career like I fucking built something.
Why?
I felt validated by Twitter saying you're a reputable news source. I felt like I could finally compete with 9to5Mac and Mac Rumors.
But that's not what it means.
For the first time,
it has never meant you are reputable. You're a celebrity. You're important. It's only meant you are who you say you are. That's what it's. Other people took it to mean more than that, but it's always meant you are who you say you are. So when someone else pays for it and puts their ID. They're getting what the original intent always was. See what I'm saying?
Yes. I get it. It's just like, why do I need to know that Jack Wolk is Jack? Right. Like, nobody's fucking like, oh my God, is this actually you, Jack? I don't know. Is this an out of touch take? Is this a cringe take?
I think it is a little bit. It's
you can say that.
It's cringe when people think verification is cool, I guess, for me. Because it's
I felt cool as hell
to me. Like I didn't feel
and now
cool
everybody's
when I
cool.
Verified. I just felt like
that's because you were already cool, Andrew.
Now I can stop people who try to pretend they're me to get free products from companies saying they're me, that they're going to review. Like that's happened to me so many times, and then that helps stop it.
Yeah, in fact, when I signed up for Threads, I tried to go on as Andrew Schmedwards, and they didn't let me.
Yeah, by the way, to clarify, I'm not saying the cool was the only value at like that's not why I'm mad. I'm mad because now, the actual value was like when people
like social proof
look at a controversial tweet from me, people are like that. He actually said that. That's him. But now the lines are so much more blurry. That's what I'm saying.
If I had $1 for every time I fell for the Elon parody account.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How is that not banned, by the way?
Parody's allowed if you say it's parody.
And also, Elon adding another badge next to the badge is just admitting that he fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, so the badges mean something? That's why? Okay. But now there's two because you fucked up the first one, so.
So it sounds like we agree.
We do. At the end of the episode, we agreed.
Threads could be something. And I will say, I was skeptical about a Twitter competitor, but like...
If anyone's going to do it, it's this one right here. It's this app.
Yeah. I'd say this is
If it's not this one, it's Blue Sky. The rest of them, they don't count.
Blue Sky I've tried. It's not really it. I'm going to be straight. It's not really it.
I feel like
Mastodon.
From a feel perspective, like from the feeling when you use it perspective, Mastodon is the closest to old school Twitter, but it's just not the easiest thing to get into.
No, it's
old school Twitter in a world where no one remembers old school Twitter,
right?
Except for us.
Listen, Mastodon is it's just like I feel like the same way about it as folding phones. It took me 6 tries to make an account.
When did you do that?
Let's see. I started back in like November of last year. Then I tried to get in December. Then I think I finally got my account in February or March. I finally got through.
It's way easier now. They had to make it. It's way easier now.
Yes, but like
with
Mastodon,
clients, but yeah, it was terrible.
The culture of Mastodon would be like, you call it the Bird app. Don't say the word Twitter on here. Like
stupid.
It's a lot of cringe elitists who are like, I hate Elon and everybody needs to know. It's like the Jon Prosser type where it's just like, bro, we get you don't like Elon, just it's okay.
Well, Andrew Edwards, thank you so much for coming on our show for the third time. For the third time.
How many has Sarah done though? I'm trying to.
Oh, she's like on 6.
5.
Bro.
I mean, you can't compete with Sarah Dietschy. She's Sarah Dietschy.
I'm trying to just be right there.
And then you got to come on next week.
It's like you know how SNL has like I forget who they are, but I want to be right there.
Okay, we'll get you. I mean, I think you are already in our list of guests.
Of what you're saying. My AirPods Max done. No warning.
Okay, Andrew Edwards, thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything that you want to promote before you leave?
Hit me up on Threads at Andrew. That's it.
Hell yeah. Let's put all of our Threads links down in the description below. I'm going to play the music for Sam because he can't hear anything.
I can't plug these fucking headphones
it's fine.
Because Apple got rid of the
Don't worry about it.
And there's a
Don't worry about it. I've got it.
How the...
Here we go.
This is called the Genius Bar.
Thank you so much, Andrew Edwards.
Don't end the show. I'm not hitting the button until I'm back, by the way.
Oh, I hit it.
You can't hit it. Don't you fucking hit it.
See you next week.
He hit it.
Don't you
See you next week, everybody. It doesn't matter because I've already hit it. It's over.
You can't hit
we'll
it
see you guys next week.
It's been hit.
Hopefully you have a great
It's
time.
not been hit. It's been hit
I love
now.
you guys so much. See you next week.
No,
Goodbye.
I hit the button. I hit the button, all right?
Oh,
and there's one thing I do.
twice?
And there's one thing I do around here. I hit the button.
Hit the button.
I hit the button.
Andrew Edwards, thanks so much for coming on. Yay! Andrew promoted his stuff. I took care of all the paperwork.
Did you count my Genius Bar Goes Dark appearance?
Fourth
No, I
time.
think you were only on one other time before this on this format. You've been on 3 total times. Yeah.
Wait, does Genius Bar Goes Dark make it 3?
No! You've just had us on your show so much.
Oh, that might be the confusion. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
This was a good time. Andrew, did you enjoy your time at the Genius Bar?
Great time. Great to talk about right now, right?
Yeah.
This was a great, fun conversation. I had a good time. Every single topic we talked about, I enjoyed.